Good morning, children of Standard 7th. Let's view a new lesson of geography. Human settlements. Yes, we all settle down and live in a society. Let's see how human settlements began. You have learned this in history, but let's learn about the different types of settlements in geography.
The human settlements, transport and communication. The meaning of living in a society is to cooperate with fellow human beings so as to fulfill their needs as well as to help others fulfilling their needs. Human beings live with others by forming a cluster of habitation. A cluster of houses where human beings live is called a settlement. Settlements may belong to villages, rural, or towns and cities, urban. A modern settlement comprises buildings, means of transport and communication, and inhabitants of the settlement. Origin of settlement. The ancestors of modern men were nomads, and they lived in caves. These dwellings were the first human settlements. They were not continuously inhabited, as men had to move from place to place in search of food. Men started settled life when they learned to grow crops. The importance of leading a settled life increased as trade and commerce grew. Thus, the first towns came into existence. Along with it, different types of buildings like schools, temples, mosques, town halls, hospitals, etc. were built. Today, we have well-planned cities with multi-storied buildings, broad roads, well-planned sewage system and sanitation, and other facilities. Every settlement needs a source of water. This is why the earliest cities of our ancient civilizations grew on the banks of river valleys, where water was available in plenty. Fertile soil and moderate climate encourage agriculture and other economic activities. Such conditions are found in plains. They also have flat lands which favors the development of transport and communication and encourages trade. The transport junctions are good sites for settlement. People settle at those places where they can easily earn their living. Therefore, settlements come up near industrial areas and mines. Sometimes tourist places and places of historical importance also attract settlements. The designs of houses and the materials from which they are built depend on the natural conditions at the site. For example, at the areas prone to floods, the houses are built on raised platforms. The areas where it rains or snows a lot, the houses may have slanting roofs that allows rain or snow to slide off. In hilly areas, the houses are built of stone. Rural and urban settlements. On the basis of type of occupation practiced by its inhabitants, the settlements may be rural or urban. In rural settlements, most of the people are engaged in primary occupation like agriculture, mining, fishery, and forestry. The products are derived directly from nature. Villages are the examples of rural settlement. In urban settlements, people are engaged in secondary and tertiary occupation. They either work in industries or they provide services like health and education. Towns and cities are examples of urban settlements. Temporary and permanent settlements. Depending on the length of time for which they are in use, a settlement may be temporary or permanent. Temporary settlements are those that are occupied for a shorter period of time. Tribes living in deserts, tropical rainforests, and other inhospitable environments build temporary settlements. However, most of the settlements that we see today are permanent settlements. They are not abandoned and remain in use continuously for several years. Compact and dispersed settlements. The settlement where all the houses are built side by side, leaving narrow lanes and by-lanes, are called compact settlements. These are the collective amenities to serve the people like schools, places of worships, hospitals and markets, etc. Dispersed settlements serve few families and houses are scattered in isolated places. Life is simple and quiet as there is little opportunity for social gathering. These types of settlements are found on highlands or farmlands. Patterns of rural settlements. Circular pattern. They generally develop around a lake or pond or an oasis in a desert area. When the people settle around such a water body, it takes the shape of a circular pattern. Linear settlement. This type of settlement develops along the highway or railway line, or along the canal or a river, in which all houses are built in a line. Rectangular pattern. This type of settlement generally develops at the crossroads and the houses are built side by side, leaving lanes and by-lanes. Triangular pattern. Sometimes the settlements develop at the confluence of two rivers and the houses are built in between the two rivers that ultimately grows into a triangular pattern. Patterns of urban settlements. Cities are large and compact in size. They have all the amenities of life and they also support non-agricultural functions such as education, hospitals, industry, transport, etc. Urban centers can be classified on the basis of their functions. Industrial towns. They are largely concerned with the processing of raw materials into finished products. Bhilai, Ludhiana, Jamshedpur, etc. are primarily industrial towns. Market towns. They act as market sites for the exchange of goods. They are mainly the collection and distribution centers for goods. Administrative towns. Such towns perform the functions of administration. Cities of Delhi, Washington DC, London are some examples. Cultural towns. Such towns are known for the promotion of country's culture and education. Shanti Niketan at Birbhum is an example of such type. Port towns. These towns perform the function of a port, like Mumbai, Vishakhapatnam, etc. Resort towns. These towns are known for tourist attraction, for example, Nainital, Mussoorie, Shimla, etc. Transport. The free flow of traffic and goods from one place to another constitutes transport. It is the lifeline of trade without which the economic activities come to a standstill. The development of transportation has brought the different parts of the world in close touch, and the world has become a smaller place to live in.